several central characters inhabit the virtuous but violent world of Oliver Twist. The titular protagonist, Oliver Twist, is orphaned at birth and brought up by the parish in terribly abusive circumstances. Despite his ill treatment, Oliver is a kind, honest boy who's quick to forgive. He's motivated by the desire to help those in need and by gratitude to those who help him. No matter how much abuse and manipulation he experiences, he remains true to his nature. Fagin is an old man with an ugly face and matted red hair. He's the sort of criminal mastermind at the center of all the conflicts in the book. He's also an ugly anti-Semitic caricature that paints a deeply problematic picture of Jews. He looks and lives like a pauper, but he has plenty of money. Readers meet Fagin in his public persona of a jolly old fellow taking care of his young charges, but the boys with him are really apprentice thieves. Fagin is a corrupter of the young, and Dickens often refers to him as the devil. He's as evil as they come, the antithesis of Oliver Twist. Like Oliver, Rose Maylie was orphaned as a child. She was then raised by abusive foster parents. When Mrs. Maylie found Rose, she was a ragged child, underfed and unloved. Mrs. Maylie took her in and raised her as her niece. Rose is young, but very caring and maternal. She puts the needs of others before her own. When Harry Maylie proposes, for instance, she turns him down because she fears her origins would ruin his reputation and thus his career. Like the ideal mother, Rose nourishes Oliver with food, knowledge, and love. Mr. Brownlow is a gentleman through and through. When Jack steals his handkerchief and Oliver is accused of it, Mr. Brownlow doesn't assume Oliver's guilt, and in fact, he feels more concern about Oliver's well-being than about his own loss. He takes Oliver into his home and nurses him. Nancy came to Fagin when she was just a few years old, and he trained her well. Although never stated in the novel, Dickens says in his preface to the third edition that Nancy practices prostitution to make a living. She also deeply loves the burglar Bill Sikes. Despite her upbringing, Nancy shows as much compassion and love as Rose Maylie. She takes to Oliver from the start and wants to save him from a life on the streets. Bill Sikes, an experienced housebreaker or burglar, takes his loot to Fagin to fence or sell. Fagin values Sikes' skills as a meticulous planner and a reliable partner in crime. Sikes lives with Nancy and his dog, Bullseye. Bill Sikes shows little humanity in his words, but some of his actions might indicate that his habitual surliness is in part a defensive posture. After killing Nancy when his temper gets the best of him, he is almost completely incapacitated by guilt. As parish beadle, Mr. Bumble acts as a liaison between the church, the workhouse, the baby farm, and other organizations for looking after the poor of the parish. Ultimately, he gets his comeuppance in his marriage and fall from power. Mr. Bumble illustrates the inadequacy of poor laws and the hypocrisy of those who care for the poor.